Messi es un jugador irrepetible, es un talento descomunal y sobre todo además un ejemplo, y quiero reiterarlo una y otra vez.
The room didn't just go quiet, it got told to. 2 days before a World Cup final, a 63-year-old coach was mid-sentence, mid-press conference, when the chanting started. Not polite applause, not a stray heckle. An entire room of grown adults drowning out the man about to face Lionel Messi, until Messi's own face turned toward the noise, and the cameras caught exactly what he thought of it. That's when the coach stopped talking. And what he said next is the reason this clip is everywhere right now, just 2 days before kickoff. Stick with this video, because the real headline from that press conference wasn't tactics. It was a line from Luis de la Fuente that nobody in that room saw coming. Let's set the stage, because the stakes here are almost unfair. Sunday, Argentina and Spain meet in the World Cup final, and this is not a final with a favorite and an underdog. This is two genuine superpowers on a collision course. Argentina are the defending champions, hunting something almost no country has pulled off in 70 years, back-to-back World Cup titles. Spain arrive unbeaten in 37 straight matches, already holders of the European Championship and the Nations League, playing arguably the most fluid football in the tournament. And standing directly between Spain and that trophy, in what may be the last act of his international career, is a 38-year-old who has been breaking defenses and breaking hearts for 2 decades. Lionel Messi. De la Fuente knows that better than almost anyone in world football. So when reporters pushed him, again, on how exactly Spain plans to deal with the best player alive, he didn't dodge it. He went back 20 years, and he told a story that stopped the room cold. I first encountered him when I was coaching the Sevilla youth team, De La Fuente said. His side had traveled to Barcelona for a cup match, he explained, chasing rumors about a kid on the other team named Messi. So he did what any coach would do. He assigned a defender to man-mark him. By the 70th minute, the plan was already dead. The defender chasing Messi had picked up a yellow card just trying to keep pace with him, and De La Fuente had to pull him off the pitch before he got sent off completely. A teenager had already made a grown man's job look impossible, decades before either of them would stand across from each other in a World Cup final. That story wasn't a throwaway anecdote. It was De La Fuente's answer, dressed up as a memory. Because the truth underneath it is this. Spain isn't building Sunday's game plan around one man chasing Messi for 90 minutes. According to De La Fuente, his side will pay him what he called special attention across every phase of the match, staying alert as a unit rather than repeating the exact mistake that cost him a defender 20 years ago in Barcelona. Messi is one of a kind, he said, flat and without hesitation. Not a compliment thrown out to fill airtime, a coach calling the man he's about to face an example for every young athlete on earth, days before trying to beat him for the sport's biggest trophy. Now here's where most coaches would stop. Praise the opponent, talk shape, rap the presser. De La Fuente didn't get that chance, because the next question in the room wasn't about Messi at all. It was about whether Sunday's final might turn ugly. Whether Argentina, a team that has ground out one chaotic backs-against-the-wall win after another this tournament, might come out trying to rough Spain up. De La Fuente's reaction wasn't diplomatic hedging, it was something closer to real offense. "Oh please, no, he said. I would never dare to say that. I have the utmost admiration for this national team." That admiration isn't just professional courtesy, it's personal, and it goes back further than most people realize. In 2017, years before either man coached a senior national team, De La Fuente was an instructor on a coaching course in Spain. One of his students, working toward a professional license, was a young Argentine named Lionel Scaloni. Scaloni has talked about that bond publicly, calling De La Fuente his professor and crediting him for shaping the coach he became. The two have stayed close ever since, right up until their countries collided in the one match that decides who lifts the World Cup. So when De La Fuente was handed a question that all but invited him to paint Argentina as villains, he wasn't just defending an opponent, he was defending a friend. They've won the World Cup, 2 Copa Americas, the Finalissima, he said, running through Argentina's resume like a man genuinely in awe of it, 2 days before trying to end their run himself. And that would have been the headline from this press conference on any normal day. It isn't. Because partway through De La Fuente's answers, the room simply broke. Fans packed into the venue erupted into chanting, drowning him out mid-sentence. A press conference 2 days before a World Cup final, completely swallowed by noise. Cameras swung toward the crowd and caught something nobody in that room was prepared for. Lionel Messi, sitting nearby, turning to stare at the disruption with an expression that instantly went viral as pure frustration. De La Fuente stopped talking, and instead of waiting it out, or laughing it off, or letting his staff handle it, he turned and addressed the crowd himself. "What are you doing?" he asked. Then, calm, completely unshaken, he kept going, sounding less like a man under pressure 2 days from the biggest game of his life, and more like someone genuinely disappointed in the room. "I've really been taught from a young age to be respectful to everyone," he said, "and we should also learn a little from that lesson, to always be respectful." The room went quiet. Within hours, the clip was everywhere, and here's exactly why it hit the way it did. This wasn't a manager cracking under the weight of the occasion, it was the opposite, a 63-year-old coach staring down a final against the greatest player of his generation and a champion chasing history, calmly asking a room full of strangers to remember their manners, then picking his sentence right back up like nothing had happened. Forget the tactics. That composure is the soundbite everyone actually remembers. It wasn't a one-off either. For the rest of that press conference, De La Fuente kept circling back to the same idea: respect for the opponent, respect for the occasion, and zero interest in talking Argentina down, even with everything riding on Sunday. "There are two top-class sides, two superb teams with many similarities," he said, describing what he expects from the final. Quality, in his words, deciding things above everything else, no villain, no siege mentality, just an open acknowledgement that this final is a genuine collision between two teams that both have every right to believe they're the best on earth right now. And that tone matches everything else surrounding this buildup. The night before, Argentina and Spain's biggest stars shared a stage together in New York at a preview event packed with sports royalty. Messi sat for questions beside Scaloni. Spain's captain, Rodri, sat beside De La Fuente. By most accounts, both squads looked like they were genuinely enjoying it. Two World Cup finalists sharing a stage before trying to beat each other for the trophy, and doing it with something closer to mutual respect than tension. That's the backdrop De La Fuente was standing in when he stepped up to that podium on Friday. Not a coach trying to psych out his opponent, not a coach hiding behind safe rehearsed lines either. A man who has spent decades in this sport, staring down the most dangerous attacking player of a generation, choosing honesty and respect over gamesmanship, and walking away with a viral moment that, in the end, had nothing to do with football at all. So here's where that leaves things. With kickoff just 2 days away, Argentina are chasing history that's eluded almost every nation on earth for 70 years. Spain arrive unbeaten in nearly 40 matches straight, with a squad many already call the most talented left in the tournament. And in the middle of it all is a 38-year-old who made a Spanish coach's job look impossible 2 decades ago, back when neither man could have imagined where it would eventually lead. De La Fuente says his team will be ready for him. He says it with real respect, not fear. Whether that's enough to actually stop Messi on the sport's biggest stage is a question nobody can answer until Sunday night in New Jersey. So here's the question for you. Is Spain's approach, respect over fear, special attention instead of a dedicated shutdown plan, actually the smarter way to deal with Messi in a World Cup final? Or is anything short of a real shutdown plan exactly the mistake teams have been making against him for 20 years? Drop your prediction in the comments before kickoff, scoreline, first goal, all of it. And if this breakdown got you ready for Sunday, hit like before you go, subscribe for the full reaction the second that final whistle blows, and turn on notifications, because whichever way this goes, it's going to be one of the biggest finals in years.